Tiffany Henyard's spending is now starting to come to light, and it's not just what she was doing in Vegas. It's also what she's doing everywhere, including Texas and all over the globe. And she's billing tens of thousands of dollars, even though they are millions of dollars in the hole and in the deficit for the city of Dalton. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get to it, y'all.
WGN Investigates has learned taxpayers are on the hook for tens of thousands of dollars more in travel costs for Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard and her administration.
It comes after WGN sued the village for refusing to turn over financial records as required by law. A judge sided with WGN. Investigative reporter Ben Bradley shows what those records reveal.
For a year now, we've been reporting on questionable spending by a South suburban politician named Tiffany Henyard. But we only knew half the story because we only had records from one of the two governments she runs. Now we can show you the real toll her travel is taking on.
Hold on. Before we get into this, to know that she's been so egregious in her management of her city, let alone she's responsible for two different segments, that she got two jobs, that just tell me that y'all just lazy. Y'all just lazy. Real talk. For people that are saying, oh my God, and I'm going to get into it later on in the show, towards the end of the show, where people are saying that they basically can't work 9 to 5s no more. If she get into two bags, the one thing that you can't say about Tiff is that she not capitalizing on the moment and she not getting to the bag. The fact that she got elected to two different governments to run two different segments of government within the state of Illinois is insane, bro. That just tell me that it ain't even talent. It ain't talent. It ain't looks. It ain't none of that. It's all 100% work ethic. You can get whatever you want in this lifetime if you just put in the work, because she is running up a bag based off of what? Just making sure that she put her name on the application and then doing what she got to do and showing up. Showing up is half the battle. This chick is running two different governments into the ground at the same time and getting bags for the whole time and thinking that she going to win again.
Taxpayers.
Look at this.
The self-proclaimed super mayor is a prolific poster on social media, but what she rarely publicizes are her travels, trips frequently paid for by taxpayers.
If you want to have a good time, spend your own dime.
Despite being a trustee, this is the first time Tammy Brown has been able to see the village's credit card statements, records we had to get through a judge's order.
When you see things like this, it's like a punch in the gut.
Last January, we told you Tiffany Henyard and her entourage racked up more than $67,000 in
1 month? In 1 month?
Travel-related charges in just 5 months. But that's just what was charged to Thornton Township credit cards, where she's the supervisor. When you add in what was billed to Dalton, trips for Mayor Henyard and her entourage cost taxpayers more than $100,000. We questioned Henyard about travel last fall.
I do not handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas?
Mm.
What is that?
No comment.
You don't know if you were in Las Vegas?
Of course I do.
Were you?
It's not paid by them.
Who was them? So now we know that that was a lie.
Fly first class to Las Vegas?
Any other questions?
When Henyard hits the road, she and other village and township officials do so in style. Records show they often fly first class, pay for upgrades. They've stayed at luxury hotels, including the Four Seasons, and dine at steakhouses.
Oh, you got to get the roof, Chris.
When you just see these things.
Let's look at one trip to Austin, Texas in July of last year. 5 people, including Mayor Henyard, for 5 days. While we previously reported the township was billed $27,000, we now know the actual cost was more than $47,000 when you factor in what Dalton taxpayers were charged. It includes nearly $1,000 spent at an Austin Walgreens and a sports riding apparel store.
A sports riding apparel store. So basically, they got in the office, they got the county credit cards, which honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, one thing that I don't understand is and this is just me. This is just me. And this is something that I think that needs to be legislated. Why are credit card companies benefiting from county taxpayers? Think about this for a minute, y'all. This is the first thing that I think that needs to be outlawed and legislated against on a mass scale. If you are a town or a city, you should not be able to get a credit card in the city's name. I don't even know why that is a possibility. Why that is an option in the first place is insane to me. No county or city should be able to get a credit card. This is not a business. They are running these things like it's their own personal piggy banks. I think that that's a bipartisan agreement. I think that that should be agreed on no matter what side of the aisle that you're on, whether or not you're a Republican or a Democrat, conservative or liberal. There should not be credit cards that are issued to the government, to the city, to the state, on any level. There should not be credit cards and that lack of oversight that should be issued. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you how it usually operates in corporate. When it happens in corporate, you're so careful about what you spend because you know that first, in most instances, you pay for it out of pocket. So let's say, for example, you go into a conference, and this happened both in nonprofit and for-profit, right? This happened as a software engineer when I was at the bank and when I was at the University of Michigan, right? When I was at the University of Michigan, they sent me to a conference. And then they said, listen, you pay for it. This is what you're approved to go to. And then we will reimburse you once you give us the receipt to justify that that's actually what you did. And then you had to pay for it out of your own pocket, submit the receipts, and then they would give you issue you a payment as a result of it after they approved you to be able to do it through your supervisor. It wasn't no just, hey, you could just get a county credit card or a company credit card or anything like that. And it was very similar, the same thing that happened in the private sector, which that's not even taxpayers' monies. So I don't know how in the heck that a civil or a county or a mayor or a city council member or anybody are able to get a credit card. That is insane to me. That is absolutely insane to me. You had to go through a whole process, software. You had to enter it online. You had to enter the reason for it or whatever, so on and so forth. All of that stuff. And then they may give you a per diem, depending on the company. They'll give you a per diem for meals. You know what I'm saying? And all of that stuff. But you had to pay for that junk and then send it in. Wasn't no finessing. I believe that all of these cities and these counties should have to have approval for whatever it is, and it should be inserted or it should be approved and then paid for once the oversight, which is one of the reasons why you're supposed to have aldermen and city council people and so on and so forth, so that it all could be approved. So that it all could be approved and you don't have no funny businesses going on. For the fact that they're able to have a county credit card is stupid in the first place. You spend what you have and your budget is basically off of what you're projecting to be. So once you get the money in, that's what your budget is. And then you start to allocate different things. And that's how you manage the finances within that particular municipality. I'm telling you, man, we just need to drain the swamp and drain it clean altogether. There's no reason why a city or a county should be in debt. There's no reason why they should be in debt. We need to just completely drain this junk, start all over, and remix it because there's no reason why they should be getting this hindsight. We should have preventative measures to prevent people from even being able to spend this type of money and do this in the first place. You had to go to an approved hotel that is within the company's budget that's allocated for that particular expense. Why is that not? I think that taxpayers' dollars are some of the most frivolously spent resources on the face of this earth. More than a nonprofit, more than a small business, more than a major business, more than a major university. Taxpayer dollars, before we ever raise another tax or anything, should all be accounted for, and they need to go through every single line item with a fine-tooth comb. I don't even want no legislators to sit there and tell them, well, we balance the budget. No, it's not about balancing the budget. We should have a surplus and we should be managing this more effectively, and we should have a completely different way in which we're having oversight on how they spending our money when we contribute that into the tax base. Then they want to do a 86% raise on your property taxes in order to fill holes in the budget. Get out of here with that nonsense.
The only explanation for any of the travel was that it was to attend a conference.
I'm sure you guys had an awesome time on the backs of taxpayers, but what do we gain from any of these trips? We gain nothing.
Trustees say they've been demanding explanations for months.
You the ones that's costing the village money.
This is so dumb.
But Henyard and her team refused to share the credit card records.
We were never allowed to get those statements. So this is the reason why you hid it from us, because definitely we will have questions.
Mayor Henyard is in a situation where she feels like she's under attack, because she is.
Because see, that will prevent, it wouldn't just prevent what would happen with Tiffany Henyard. When we did that story a few months ago of Brandon Johnson spending $10,000 plus on his hair, and then they asked him about it and he said, I think we should support all small businesses. No, family, you can't just spend $10,000, no matter how small or how minuscule you think it is of the budget of Chicago. You cannot spend that type of money on your hair. Come on, man. Listen, bro. Don't get me in office. They gonna be mad at me. Anton cut out all of the spending. We gotta abide by a budget. Yep. I'm cutting everything out. And what is all of the nope, not approved. How does that actually help the taxpayers? How does that help the city? Is that gonna draw more revenue? How can you guarantee that? Nope. No conferences, no nothing, no lunches, no conferences, no supplies, no nothing. No. The answer is no. My number one, that's going to be my slogan. When I retire from making all of this money, and I retire and I start to run on the platform, my slogan is going to be the answer is no. That's my slogan. Nope. It ain't even going to be no. It's going to be nope with the P-E on the end of it. The answer is nope. You're not even going to be able to come to me unless you got a good reason. I'm going to treat the people just like I treat my daughter. What you doing? Nope. Dad, you always say that? Nope. So you saying that you don't always say no? Nope. The answer is no. When anything that it come to money, the answer is no. We're going to get the money back to the people. There's no reason that they continue to pay all of these crazy taxes. The answer is no. Money go back to the people.
Criminal defense attorney hired after the FBI served subpoenas on the village and township earlier this year. He blames Henyard's top aide, Keith Freeman.
Keith Freeman made the decision on how these funds are being used. Keith Freeman is going on these trips. You understand, this is a new mayor. This is someone that is new to this job.
But she never thought, hey, I shouldn't fly first class. I shouldn't stay at the Four Seasons.
If there was a problem with any of that, if that's not how you're supposed to do
Nope.
it, she relied on Freeman to tell her.
If you want to, listen, if we sending you somewhere and it's actually business approved, you're going to fly regular. If you want to upgrade, you got to do that on your own dime. That's the way it works. If you wanted to fly first class, and you're going to have to pay that out of your own pocket, otherwise you're going to sit in the back of that Spirit plane like everybody else. Spirit, Frontier, those are the approved airlines. If you don't like it, no. No Delta, no American Airlines. You don't even get Southwest. You don't get nothing. You don't get Alaskan. You don't get Emirates. You don't get nothing. If you want to go over there, we could either get you a rental car and you can drive. You can hit that Frontier, see if they fly there, get that Spirit Airlines, get that popping. No big seats. Nope. Hey, Anton, can I get 2 rows closer to big seats? Nope. Comfort Plus? Nope. Delta at all? Nope. You get Spirit and Frontier. If you want to upgrade, then you can do that additional on your own dime. But I don't want to see nothing but Spirit. No big seat, no nothing. Nope. And you got to make sure that you submit your expense report before, at least 2 months before of what you planning to do, because we want to make sure that we get in the cheapest seats possible. Because if we get it closer to the date, then the prices is going to raise. No emergency flights. Nope. That's what we got Zoom for. We got a Zoom account. We got an enterprise Zoom account. You get on Zoom and you get on that line and you join the conference that way. Oh man, they live streaming the conference. Oh, okay, that means you don't have to fly there. No hotel, no per diem. Nope. That's my thing. We are cutting the fat. You don't understand the way my management style work. We run lean, baby. We run lean. We don't experience any losses. I have never in my life, not one time. That's the way I ran my restaurant. We put all of the resources towards the things that matter. Menus, all of it. Okay, that's what we gonna do. Nope. Listen, let me tell you something. I didn't even have my menus printed at a regular printing company. My menus was printed at work on company dime. Nope. You know how much printing costs were? You know how much printers are? All of that. If I don't see a cost saving, I have never, not 1 month, not 1 quarter, in no business that I've ever ran in my entire life, I have never ran at a deficit. Not one. Nope. The menus, listen, let me tell you how wise we were with our resources. The menus not only got printed at the company's place, but the menus also, I designed my menus to where it was half a menu. So it was front and back, and then it was one slide. So it was like a half a menu. And let me get a piece of paper. A piece of paper somewhere. This is a DTE bill. So this is the menu. I'm telling you how we ran it. This is how I run it. I run lean. We not going to lose no money, not one dime. It was like this. This was the menu right here. This is the menu. It was one side like this and the other side. And so it was printed on both sides, front and back, and then we sliced it. So when you came in, you was only looking at the menu. You had one slide. You had like this. If you wanted to take one with you, it was like this. Okay, so this was pare the menu down. When we went through, we will make sure we use the same ingredients for multiple different products. Get creative. Figure it out. Listen, y'all don't understand. From a business perspective, I miss nothing. I get anything that we gonna invest, we gonna make sure that we capitalize off of it. Nope. Answer is nope. And that's how most legislators need to be. That's why you need people that both have an affinity for the community to do the right thing, and they have to have a business perspective in order to run in these offices, because they have no clue on how to go about doing things that is efficient for the taxpayers and leveraging the money the right way. They just throw y'all money away, and that's the end of it.
He's telling her this is how we do things.
How things were done in Dalton is costing taxpayers dearly. Records we obtained show the village leased 3 luxury SUVs for Henyard's use at a cost to residents of more than $374,000.
The mayor didn't spend any of this money. Keith Freeman made decisions and reported to the mayor, this is what we're doing. The mayor trusted him until she didn't.
About that. This is me talking to people that understand business, that understand finance.
Back to those Dalton credit cards. They include nearly $25,000 charged in 5 months without explanation to places like Walmart, Target, and Jewel. There was $5,000 spent at local restaurants and Uber Eats. And Tiffany Henyard's personal photographer charged the village.
Somebody says, so otherwise you're Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob. No. So what you do is you eliminate the additional costs for the things that don't matter, so you can put all of the money into the things that do matter. You want to spend the money on ingredients. You want to spend the money on portion sizes. You want to spend the money on the customer experience. You want to spend the money on the things that really matter, the things that's going to resonate and actually meaningful to customers. You don't want to spend money on color on a menu that costs extra money that then takes away from where it is that you can allocate your resources that's going to actually impact the experience from the customer. Think about it. From a content creator's perspective, people cheap out on a software or learning or really becoming great at what it is that they do as far as the streaming. They cheap out. And so I'd rather spend the money and put it on this and take away from the things that don't matter. People spend a bunch of money on stuff that don't even go on camera. They spend a bunch of money on stuff that don't even matter, that's not going to actually create a better experience for the viewer. Everything you do, and the reason why I'm a user experience expert is because I look at it from the perspective of the customer. You have to look at everything from, it's not about you. It's not about what you want. It's not about what works for you. It's about what works for the customer. Customers want more portion sizes. They want a better experience. They want great customer service. They want good training. They want to have a great flow and getting in and out. They want their times for them to be able to, because they only got 30 minutes on lunch, 45 minutes on lunch, an hour on lunch. They don't want to spend their time focusing on whether or not they're going to get their food on time. And so you make sure you bring up more staff. I want to spend more money on on employee salaries. And I can do that. I can spend more money on employee salaries and stuff, which is one of the reasons why you've never seen anybody say, well, Anton don't pay us what we worth or what they think that we worth, because we can spend more money on experiences if we take it away from the stuff that don't matter. When you don't frivolously spend and throw money away, you have more resources to spend on the things that actually matter to the customers and to the workers to create a better experience. You got to think. It's a business move. You don't need color on your menu. Black and white works just fine. Nobody gives a piss about whether or not the menu is in the color. They care about whether or not the food is good, and whether or not they got good customer service, and whether or not they can get in and out, and whether or not their DoorDash is going to get there in time, right? They care about what the things is that's going to happen for them that benefits them on an experience, not on a menu color. They don't care about how big the menu is. They care about whether or not they have a better experience. And so if these menus are going to go, every one of these menus is going to go inside of the bag, then you want to make sure that you make that as efficient as possible. You want to make sure that you spend money on the online experience so that they can order online instead of spending more time browsing through a menu. What is the experience? Okay, more people are looking at this device, looking at the online menu on a mobile device. So we're going to optimize it from a mobile first perspective instead of spending just a whole bunch of money on a website. You see what I'm saying? So you have to put the money where it actually can return value. It's just like a home, right? If you're going to spend money on a home, you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on a pool that you can only use for 2 months out of the year. You want to spend more money on the kitchen. You want to spend more money on a bathroom. You want to spend more money on the things that's going to give you return on value. Everything you look at, you got to look at it from a business perspective. Everything.
$3,400.
What I think is interesting about this case, this story, is you can be highly legal and unethical at the same time.
Kelly Richmond Pope is an accounting professor who has investigated municipal spending. She says the brazenness is what caught her eye.
Who does this? Who lives this way so out loud? It's almost like, I dare you to ask. I dare you to ask me. And I'm just shocked that a leader would think that they could get away with this type of behavior.
Anyway, so this is y'all leadership, and this is one of the reasons why y'all need to become informed voters, is because when y'all having these conversations, I want y'all to have these conversations thinking like a business person. When you're evaluating a candidate, and this is why I'm so against Kamala Harris, for example, you can't evaluate a candidate based off of feel good and hope and all of this stuff. They need to give you tangible policy, and then you compare and contrast that. And it often at times is even more pronounced when you're talking about local officials like Tiffany Henyard. If you live in Dalton, if you live in Chicago, you live in Oakland, empty promises and feel-good messages and messages of unity and we need to come together, that don't help me as far as my grocery bill. That don't help me as far as my property taxes. That don't help me as far as small businesses creating a better environment for my children. That don't help me when it comes to crime and prostitution. We need real tangible solutions and how somebody is going to manage more effectively that aligns with what it is that you think is best for your family. That's the whole idea of it. Anyways, let me go ahead and read some of these super chats.